Hi guys! So today we're going to do alcohol ink over the top of acrylic pours. Now this is something that I have done in the past, and one of those examples would be this one. If you remember it, you can visit that video in my channel. But this painting, there's some things I loved about it and some things I was not sure. So I decided to just play around with it and have fun. This is the dried result of that painting. There's parts that I think are just gorgeous. I love the white flowers, and I thought I could play around and try to embellish those with some alcohol inks. Now this painting was created in my Live at 5 event, the viewer's choice video, and you could see that. It's a couple weeks back from here. And I think I did a wing pour in that one as well. I decided to use pearl alcohol inks to embellish the dark spaces in this pour. Now, I'm not extremely facile with alcohol inks. I do my best. And I'd say if I wasn't so sensitive to the alcohol, I would like to work with them a lot more. But I just have a sensitivity, and I have to wear a vaporizer when I use them. So we all like to suffer for our art, but sometimes we don't. So I'm kind of torn. I always want to work with them more, but I feel limited by my own body. Look at how pretty and translucent those petals are as the black comes through. So I find that working on a darker color with the pearl really makes that transparent, ghostly look. So on this painting, I don't have that black space to work off of, but I'm going to try to create an extension of the flower, the white flowers, with these. I envision these elongated petals, like blooms coming up out of it, almost like what you would imagine an iris to look like or something. And it works in some ways, and it was a good experiment to try. Maybe it didn't quite hit the mark for me in some areas, and unfortunately it's hard to erase and go back once you put it on there. It's difficult to change. So I did learn a lot by doing this on this acrylic pour, and it is something that I'm going to try again. That's the end result. I'm going to continue to work on that process. So with this painting, I went back and added the pitch black alcohol ink and then allowed that to dry. And that's one way that you can create the depth for the center, is by putting a darker color in the center there and drawing it out in a couple different ways. Now, I'm using pearl because it's easier to work with, and I find that when I use just white, like the snow cap, it doesn't move quite as beautifully on the canvas. So I keep using pearl, and I also, like I said, really enjoy the dark spaces. The black really creates that translucent look. So more paintings are going to be created for the use of these beautiful flowers. And it's funny, it just doesn't look like much right now. You have to kind of hold faith with this method. pearl alcohol ink is one of the ways that, and adding more alcohol ink is one of the ways you can draw some of that black into your petals. And it doesn't have to be pearl, it could be any color because anything you put over the top of that black is gonna draw it out into the other color. But here I'm using 99% alcohol, so that also shows you another effective way, although you can see how it's a lot more intense. I have to take a second and say thank you so much to my patrons. Because of you guys, I continue to make these videos, and I can't tell you how much it means to me, your support for this channel. And you can support this channel in many ways. My Amazon shop is one of them. If you're interested in supplies or anything, you can buy it there. Leave a tip in the tip jar, and even small donations, you guys. It means a lot during this time for me. I really, really, really rely on your donations, so thank you so much. Now, this painting I went on to embellish off camera with acrylic ink and a brush, and that is the result of one of the flowers that we just saw. Now I'm going to go back and show you how I did that on a third flower. So I did those 2 flowers off camera, just playing around really, and decided it needs a third one. So I added the black ink and then the pearl alcohol ink. And I create the flower in exactly the same way as I created the other flowers. Just going over the black, and it kind of pulls into the other petals there, creating some of that depth. Now, if you're not quite getting what you want in terms of the look, you can always add to it. See how intricate and detailed and beautiful those flowers ended up being? I just am totally in love with that one right there. Just the ghostly appearance, so delicate, transparent, really pretty. And so if you're not quite getting the depth that you want to achieve, you can do this, and this is what I decided. This flower, because it was so small, it just got very muddy very quickly, and I wasn't getting a lot of those pretty translucent depths that I got in the other flowers. So I took my little brush and this is just black alcohol ink. I dipped it in the alcohol ink, and then just made some lines through the flowers that I thought would look good, and then used just additional plain alcohol to kind of smooth out those lines and make them look a little more natural. It's not quite as natural as it would be if you did it with just the airbrush, but you can see it has almost the same effect. And then I liked it so much I added a few of them to the other places, the other flowers that I thought needed a little more depth in there. So see how it really does marry well together. So I almost gave up on this painting like 3 or 4 times. I almost scraped it off initially during the live, and then I let it dry instead, and then after that I did have one flower and I hated it and I set it aside, and it's just funny. Sometimes I just have to make myself keep going to see what I can accomplish. And you know, of course, things can get too muddy. Now this technique right here, I'm just using a little paintbrush, and this is just white acrylic ink. Actually, it's not even, I think, acrylic ink. It's just the ink that you would use if you were doing pen and ink. And look how pretty that painting turned out to be. This one is available in my shop, you guys. No one has bought this painting. I'm absolutely amazed. I did show it in a few different places, but it's very reasonable. It's very beautiful. Look at all the depths of the flowers. Very pretty. Lots of metallics in there. I got a lot of requests for the dried results from the last Live at 5 where we tested Amsterdam's pouring medium. This was the Floetrol painting. It is so pretty. I love the way this one turned out. It's available at heathermaderart.com in my shop. And the lives are really fun if you haven't tried them. The live painting, there's Q&A. It's really fun and social. And they're very in-depth compared to a regular video, if you're interested in that. But look at this one, how pretty it turned out. Now here is the Amsterdam pouring medium, and I love this painting. It's gorgeous. The difference between the Amsterdam and the Floetrol, I would say it's not worth the money, because all it dried was just a little bit glossier, but in general, it's about 10 times more expensive, maybe 7 times more expensive than Floetrol. I think save your money, buy a little GAC 800 and put a little bit of that in your cup with Floetrol and you should get the same kind of results. So join me this Friday at 5 West Coast time for split cup giveaway. I'm going to give away some split cups and you can find out how if you join me, and I will see you there. Bye guys. Don't forget to subscribe and hit all notifications so I can make more art videos just for you.